Hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of the House Gist podcast, where I'll be talking about everything relating to managing house staff, from hiring to basic chores to building boundaries, and just about everything we need to know when dealing with staff in our homes. Because if you look at it anyhow you want it, we somehow need people to assist us in our homes on a daily basis. We simply can't do everything ourselves. So we have to employ one or two people who assist in making sure that the home front runs smoothly while we also attend to our responsibilities at our businesses, in our offices. Yes, many people see hiring domestic staff as a form of luxury, but then I always tell people, if you have the means, like if you have, when I say if you have the means, like if you have the money, why not employ someone to make your life easier? This is 2025. No one is giving you an award for being the best in suffering. You're not getting an award for that. And there's so much happening. There's so much happening right now that you have to ease yourself of some basic chores. Why not get someone to do that for you? I would say employing domestic staff in this part of the world. When I say this part of the world, I mean in Nigeria. I live in Lagos and I'm streaming from Lagos, Nigeria. It's affordable depending on what you want. So if you have the money, why not go for it? Because it gives you extra 1 hour, extra 2 hours to achieve your goals. In this particular episode, I will be introducing this house staff and their roles and how they assist in the home. I'll start with a nanny, which is one of the common roles we see being advertised or being needed by family. I'd say a nanny is different from a maid. A nanny is one who is, I would say, a parent's helping hand who is there to assist the parents in taking care of the children. If in many homes right now we have both parents doing a 9 to 5 or probably running a business, and there's hardly that time to do everything. So having a nanny would help both parents ease some form of stress. For example, in the morning when it's time for school, while parents are getting dressed, the nanny is also assisting in probably getting the lunch box ready for the children, making sure the children have breakfast, pack their school bags, and maybe for children who use the school bus, escort the children to the school bus or get them ready to go into the car to be dropped off. So I would say for a nanny's role should be clearly defined. I have two children and each child has their daily tasks, which is communicated to the nanny. So the nanny knows what each child should be doing at every point of the day. A nanny's job shouldn't consist of housework. The nanny should just be focused on children, making sure the children's clothes are clean, their bags are packed, their lunch box is clean and ready for the next day, school bag packed, ready for the next day. And during the weekends, it should be cleaned and ready for the next week. The nanny should also make sure the children have their lunch, their dinner, all of that. So I would say the nanny's time of work is divided in two phases. That is in the morning, that's before school, where they have to do all the early morning run around, and after school. So a nanny works from about 6 or 5:30 a.m. until 7 o'clock, which is the time most children leave for school. 7 o'clock, 7:30. Between that 7:30 up until 2:30 or 3:30, when most children come back from school, the nanny has her time. And after 3:30, that is the second part of the day where she carries on the other parts of work. That's between, I would always say between 3 o'clock up until 9 p.m. Let's just leave it at 9 p.m. because most children go to bed at 9 p.m. So the nanny's role basically just focuses around the children. Meals, children's clothes, children's activities, preparing them for every activity they have to do, and playing with the children basically. A nanny is one skilled to handle kids, while a maid is to run errands and do chores. And also, a nanny is totally different from a maid, but in Nigeria, we tend to model up both of them. Same way you would see somebody sending their personal assistant in the office to buy food for them. So we should always be clear when we're employing a nanny, and it's also important to employ someone who is highly skilled in handling kids. From here, we'll be moving over to a maid. Who is a maid? A maid is one who is to handle chores and errands. I'll put a maid and a housekeeper in the same box, because a maid is one who makes sure everywhere is clean. You handle all the chores, from cleaning furniture to cleaning every room in the house, making sure the beds are laid, the kitchen is clean, go to the market, cook. Yeah, depending on the size of your home, because like people who have a larger home would always want a housekeeper slash maid different from their cook or chef. So if you don't have the means to employ a chef slash cook, your maid is the one who is supposed to do all of this. So you define their roles, you give them a very detailed job description, so that way they know what they are doing at each point in time. Your maid doesn't have to work from the moment they wake up till they are ready to sleep. No, if you have a defined work schedule, what your maid should do in a day should only last at least 3 to 4 hours, again depending on the size of your home. And it is now up to the maid to know how to put in their time to making sure they do these things well, because I've spoken to a lot of domestic staff in the course of doing my research, and I hear things like, from the moment I wake up till I sleep, I'm working. My work I do from morning till night, and that night that they are talking about when it's time to sleep is about almost 11, 12 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't you have like a detailed description of things to do? Oh no, we just do everything like that. I would say, as an employer, you should have a very detailed job description, and share the activities, the job, or everything that needs to be done in the day within days. They don't have to do the same thing every day. Yes, there are some parts of the house that needs to be clean daily. For example, the living room, which is where every leg goes into the living room, the kitchen, and all of that. Those places need to be cleaned daily. But then if you try to share the jobs, it will be easier for the maid. The maid will have a more relaxed and flexible working environment, and it will make things easier for him or her. And trust me, you would find out that things are going very smooth. You would love your home. There'll be energy to do so much more. Yes, there'll be so much energy. So it's always important to define the job description, chores and errands, and probably cooks too. Like I said, depending on the size of your home. I'm moving on to something which is higher than a nanny, and this is a governess. A governess I'll tag as a second mommy. A governess does everything a nanny does and much more. She helps, I said she because yes, a governess is always a lady. She helps the child or children in the home navigate life. I'd say a good example of a governess is Maria from Sound of Music. I'm sure if you are listening, you would know Sound of Music, one of our childhood favorites movie. Yeah, Maria was that governess who was helping captain's children navigate life. Many family who engage the services of a governess is one with extremely busy parents, either traveling parents or one in which one of the parents is late, especially when it's the mother who is not in the picture. So those are the kind of families that employ the services of a governess. The governess, unlike the nanny, requires really high skills because If you are working as a governess, you are doing everything from homeworks to attending school events, speaking with the teachers, going for their co-curricular activities, speaking to their coaches, their instructors, knowing what each child needs to do. So a governess requires very high skills. Being a governess, you have to love children, first of all. If you don't love children, you don't have any business being a governess, because you have to have that love, that motherly love inside of you to be able to guide children who are not yours. So aside having the high level of education and experience, you need love from within to be a governess. And many governors always stay in the home round the clock. Most of them don't even go to their personal homes, or maybe they take 1 or 2 weeks to go to their personal homes, probably when the family is going on a family vacation. But you find that most times they even go on family vacations with their host family. Being a governess is very tricky. You are practically part of that family, because it's sometimes very hard for outsiders to know that you're not part of that family, that you're just working for that family, because you've infused yourself into that family. Then we now move on to the cook or chef, depending on which one. Chef would always say, I have great skills, I went to school, but a cook is, they'll say it's just Yabasira assistants, but in which they both know how to cook. Depending on your preference and the size of your home, that is when a cook comes in, or a chef. Or maybe you don't just like stress, and you just want to come home to fresh meals every day, then you can employ a cook. A cook is one who just basically makes your meal, does the meal prep, gives you a timetable, or works with your timetable, goes to the market. Yes, I know I said go to the market, what a maid is supposed to do. But remember, I said that it depends on the size of your home and the kind of staff you have. So if you have a chef or a cook, your maid or housekeeper has no business cleaning the kitchen or going to the market, because that would be handled by the cook, because that is the cook's or the chef's area of concentration. So everything that has to do with cooking, cleaning of the kitchen area is now the responsibility of the cook and chef. That's about it with the chef slash cook. Then now I'm moving to a very important set of people. Yes, I say they are very important, because if you have them, I would say, aside God, your life is basically in their hands, because sorry, I'm laughing. Yes, your life is basically in their hands, aside God, because they take you everywhere you go to. They take you every place you go to. They know your daily itinerary. Yeah. So I'm talking about the driver. Yes, again, people see a driver as luxury. I used to be one of those people who used to see having a driver as a luxury, until we employed a driver in our home. And I kid you not, having a driver is not luxury. Like, imagine being in traffic for 3 to 4 hours and you're not being productive. But when you have a driver, there is so much you can do while in traffic. You know the way Lagos is, there's always traffic. If you have a report which you need to submit, you can quickly round it off, submit it, take work calls, attend meetings while you're in the car. Then if you have children, when you're going to school, you have a lot more time to interact with your children, teach them a lot on the way, or just basically tell stories. Just do a lot inside the car. Like, it feels like freedom. There is so much, 10 times more productivity than being the one driving yourself. The driver is not a luxury, trust me. If you can afford it, get one. So why I say the driver is really important is because they know our itinerary. You can, even if you want to tell your driver 2 minutes before to where you are going, he already knows where you are going. And if you employ the wrong person, oh my god, it can literally take a lot from you, because it could arrange a kidnapping and a robbery, or just basically anything bad. And that's why I said it's important. I will still talk about this in future episodes, but I'll just say some things here. When employing a driver, it is very important to do your personal background check. Yes, I know you used an agent. I know you used a reliable agency to employ your driver. But some of these agencies, I would say they lie. They just get these people's information. Oh, we've done our background check, blah, 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 this. But they've not done so much. So it's always important for you to do your second check. When you get the profile, look for the address. If you have to send somebody, send somebody. Go to the community, speak to one or two people, ask about the person and the kind of character the person is in the community. Is he a troublesome person? Has he been involved in crime before? The person you're employing doesn't have to know you've been to his community, but just speak to someone. When you get to the community where the driver you want to recruit stay, you would always see a kiosk or an aboki shop. Just try and start a conversation with the person who owns the kiosk. See this person, what do you know about this person, and stuff like that. It's really, really important, because like I said, your driver, it knows your itinerary, and someone who's bad will basically plot evil. So this is one thing we should always do when employing a driver. So I think those are basically the very popular house staff, or I'd say domestic staff, we use. That's all for today. Please don't forget to comment, like, and share with your friends and family. Also, follow the House Gist on all social media platforms. Until next time, bye.